I'm back! Welcome to TPL, the only camp where we'll never be consistent in formatting episodes. After the tile actions last round, we have a fair amount of stuff to cover, starting with the confessionals. Alright, let's start with the votes, because only 4 Pokemon voted. Pokefan and Pro Pass got 1 vote, got 2. Speaking of which, I'm in this damn bit. For 5 rounds now, I've intentionally censored Sesamug's name, because the real name is incredibly cringe. After a bit of reflection, I feel like it would be most fair to let him compete under his real name. So, I'm gonna say his real name right now. Sesamug. Something more serious now. Ava has failed to do Block Blast, which means they're our second contestant to fall via HP loss. 26th, Ava. Just like Snowmarks, you disappeared after round 2. The only reason you didn't die in the same episode as her is because I auto-excused you very leniently in round 4. At least you showed life somewhat recently, but it was too late to really do anything. Well, I hope to see you soon! Just like Snowmarks, you can say your last words. With another elimination, we have to announce the new contestants to the show. Our newest contestant is ready to pounce with a giant hammer. Let's welcome Leichen the Tinkaton to the show. You start with 15 HP, just like Mew did. 2 more things to do before we get to the rules. Firstly, MC Gaia used his Rule Ruler action to hit the Liberty's Rule 40. I am not surprised. And secondly, 2 idols have been found. Congratulations Electrodrift and Unknown on getting an idol. There's still one idol out in the wild in episode 3B. Now, it's rule time! Let's start like normal with Cubert's rule. Rule decay, audience say. This rule is part of set B and not part of set A. End of video. All custom rules and tiles without HP have their HP set to 3. 3 days after each video is released, select YouTube comments on that video that start with rule decay, audience say, has the most likes or tied for the most, indicate the number of a custom rule, and were not written by a currently competing player. Each selected comment deals 1 damage to the selected rule. If a rule or tile's HP is reduced to 0 or less, it is destroyed. Rules and tiles destroyed by comments deal 1 damage to each Pokemon responsible for writing the effect. We're giving the audience her say. This rule is part of set B however, meaning it won't be in effect until round 9. Second up, we have Cubert's right hand in... just kidding. Unknown's rule is next however. The Soulmate Program. You may choose to opt into the Soulmate Program at any time except during challenges. You may only do this once, and once you do, there's no way to back out. Players who chose to participate in the program get added to the Soulmate pool, and when there are 2 people available in the pool, they become Soulmates. Soulmates get a second life upon death, set to the average of the HPs of the other contestants alive. Any incoming damage to a soulmate in their pair is reduced 75% rounded down, but the leftover damage is applied to the other soulmate in the pair. A very interesting rule that links players together. However, the current version might break the game, which is why it's getting changed in this round's executive order. We are gonna need a lot of balancing. A player's inventory and a player's tokens inventory are considered the same. You can only hold up to 3 cards from the S5 PCD at once. Rule 48 is getting several nerfs. The damage absorbed is not rounded. Instead, all HP counts are rounded normally at the end of a round. This cannot cause your HP to drop to 0. The revival is now a redemption round. If they place in the top half in the next challenge, they will stay alive. Else, they will be eliminated like normal. They will revive with 75% of the average HP and have their coins halved, rounded to the nearest half coin in case of a success. If your soulmate gets revived, both linked players become soul broken, which is a status that prevents them from entering the program again. If Rule 48 or any copies of it are destroyed, all players with a soulmate lose 4 HP. The first 2 are just to prevent people from drawing half the deck with their S5 PCD. That's it. For Rule 48, however, yeah, all those nerfs are needed, else the game would both take forever and the rule would be very broken. Back to normal rules, however, we have Mercury with another shot at making a rule. Are you kidding me? They forgot again? Well, let's see if Electric has any team. It's the simple heal rule. Top 3 gain 1 HP. A very simple rule. Well, that's because I had to veto his other suggestion, which was very annoying. Approaching the halfway point, we have Vivian's second rule. Contestants can vote for the return of 1 shop item per episode. The item with the most votes is added to the shop for that episode. Once an item has been voted into the shop, it cannot be voted again for 3 rounds. For this rule, it's very important to differentiate between episode and round. Episode means every video, not counting C episodes because those are just extras. Next up, we have Ayuwoki's next rule. This rule's purpose is to pretty much go all in or go home. In order for this rule to activate, you must say in your confessional, I want to go all in on home. Once said, you will be able to pick a player you think is going to win, and if you bet correctly, you get something like a couple coins from the player. If you're wrong though, you will give coins to said player or lose health. This wording is so bad. So, I'm defining a couple as 3 to 5 coins. If you don't have that amount of coins, you lose HP. If the person you predicted doesn't have the coins to pay up, however, they lose no HP. After that, Effie's rule is next. I really hope it has better wording. Karma. For every 5 points of damage dealt as a result of a roll you made, you will accumulate 1 point of karma. Once you reach or exceed 10 karma points, you take however many karma points you've accumulated as damage. Yep, a rule to prevent people from making mass HP loss rolls. Wink wink. This might have an effect quickly, or maybe it won't. Third to last is Melee Pichu's rule. This rule makes Rule 26 part of the global set. They span across all sets A to Z and thus are always active. This rule then immediately destroys itself afterwards since it has no other purpose. If you're wondering what Rule 26 is, it's a rule allowing contestants to join late. Not much else to say apart from that though. Round 4 Leader's Blades rule is next. A new item is added, named Temporary Shelter. This activates automatically when any event calls for shelter, such as a storm. In these cases, it acts like the user has shelter. It only has 1 use, after which it is used up and cannot be used again. Each player is given a temporary shelter, with the temporary shelter being a permanent part of the shop for 10 coins. It's a safeguard for the storm, but for 10 coins, you could just build a shelter. This also activates before normal shelters though. In addition to that, a forge does use up the shelter. Lastly, we have Reshiram's rule. If you say ICLTSPMO or anything like that, 1 HP is deducted from your health. This refers to the trend in 2025 where people are over-abbreviating words to speak faster, often sacrificing readability. It's vague, but as long as it's normal, you won't get penalized for it. And so we conclude the rules. We actually have nothing else to cover, so you all get a little rest. The next challenge will be in 3 days. I hope you all had a nice break, but we have a new round to start. First off, we have the new expanded shop. It's pretty big now, and Amphi gains a coin for getting their item in game. In addition to that, you can now vote for rotated out items to vote back into the shop. The item with the most votes gets added back for an episode. The item will be selected randomly in case of a tie. It's time to roll a legislator die. Another tria? Well, that's 8 legislators for our winner of the challenge. Now, for the challenge itself, we're scaling back the ambition and are doing something simpler. It's your job to organize the best dinner party ever. Now, to start off, this is a dinner party, not a night party. So your party must start at 4 PM at the earliest and must end before 12 AM. You have to explain the food, the theming, the activities, and everything else that can make it the best party. There is no word limit, but you only have a day to prepare the party. Here are the predictions for this round. Challenge ends 4 days from now, and I will see you all next time to see your epic parties. Or say, this rule is part of set B. However, that's not the flow of that sentence. Jeez. Vote on for the return. Oh my! I forgot how badly this rule is worded. God, this is hell on earth.